Hey guys, what's going on? Today we're going to be talking about Prophet and Huntress. They're the two newest Season X heroes in the game. They were just released this season. I basically had all season to test these two new heroes, formulate my opinions on them, and go from there. So first of all, I have every season hero maxed, besides this like Cincinnatus from Season 1. But in any case, I have every season hero maxed, max base, and I play in legendary states, so I've had a lot of testing with these heroes, and I can basically use any single combo, and I've tested with almost every single combo. This is just my opinion, though, based on my experience with these combos, and my friends' experiences as well. They like to send me a lot of APC data. People like to send me APC data all the time, collect that data, and figure out kind of where do these heroes place, and how are they best used. So first of all, we're going to be talking about Prophet. So Prophet is a support fighter hero. Support fighter hero generally means like you're a healing hero or you have a lot of CC. Prophet kind of does that, but she also has just a lot of buffs. So if you guys are familiar with the channel, I always do these charts for all these new heroes, or for all heroes basically. I talk about their tanking ability, their support ability, their CC, damage, and adaptability. Tank basically just meaning, how long do they stay alive, how tanky are they? Support means both what I just mentioned, so like healing, as well as buffs and debuffs for the enemy. CC is crowd control, so that's basically any action that prevents the enemy from performing abilities or basic attacks or anything like that. The forms of CC are silence, suppression, disarm, and confusion. And then we go over damage. Damage is obviously just damage dealt, just a raw output of numbers. And then adaptability is arguably the most important number on this chart. To me, it's the most important. It's basically how you can flex this hero, meaning, can you place her in row 1, row 2, row 3? Can you place them in 2 of those, all 3 of those? Can you pair her with a lot of different heroes, or is she kind of stuck, in one sort of APC? Obviously, you can see that Prophet's adaptability is fantastic, and that in my opinion, that makes her a really, really good hero. So let's go over her skills quickly. Her second ability, fortune telling, is her bread and butter. It's really, really good ability. She marks one random enemy squad and reduces their troop recovery by 70%. Then she inflicts a debuff based on the marked squad's troop type. So this is a prep skill. This happens on round 0 technically, so before rounds 1. Before actually the real battle, the prep skills go off. And she'll just mark one random enemy squad. It doesn't really matter what it is, but the fact that it doesn't matter can kind of hurt Prophet a little bit, but it really, really hurts somebody like Tech Priestess. It hurts people like Kamikaze, hurts people who basically heal. This is kind of a direct counter to that. Plus, she adds a debuff. So if it was just the first part, this skill would already be really, really good, but there's a debuff associated with it as well, which makes this skill just above and beyond. And it basically depends on that marked squad's troop type. So let's say in the beginning of the match, she marks the front row fighter hero, the front row fighter tank. So Tech Priestess, for example. All Tech Priestess is basically just going to take 20% more damage to everything. That's just pure damage, basic attack damage, skill damage, anything. Tech Priestess's squad is going to take 20% more damage. Let's say she marks Nomad squad in the back row. Nomad's going to deal 40% less normal attack damage, or any shooters will. And then let's say she marks Death Rider in the back row, or any other vehicle. All this Death Rider damage is going to be 30% less skill damage. So all those debuffs are really, really good. They're kind of like the best debuffs to have on those specific troop types. Fighters generally are really tanky, making them take more damage is really important. Shooters do a lot of damage with basic attacks like Nomad, Crochet, etc. Making them deal less damage is obviously really, really good. And then most of the time, vehicle squads are going to be dealing a lot of skill damage, especially like Huntress, Death Rider, Ivan, people like that. Even Countdown, they do a lot of skill damage. So her second ability, like I said, it's really, really good. It's probably one of the best abilities in the game, honestly. But let's move on. Her fifth ability, Chains of Fate, 50% chance to link 2 squads together, basically. When either of them take damage, the other one's going to take 50% of that damage. So if squad number 1 is linked to squad number 2, and squad number 1 takes 10,000 damage, squad number 2 is going to take 50%. So 5,000 damage. Now that calculation is a little bit different. It's not exactly half, just based on how the game actually works. So HP basically damage is taken. Damage is a number that's given. So let's say Hummingbird's about to attack you. That number, let's say it's 15,000. So they take that 15,000 number. It's divided by the HP of that squad. So let's just say it's 100. So it'll deal 50,000 damage. If that HP is 200, then obviously it's going to deal 7.5 thousand damage. So that's kind of the internal workings of the game, some of the combat algorithms. So that damage is not going to be exactly 50%. Just heads up if you think this skill is broken. Her sixth ability, it's Awaken. She just gets plus 15% damage. This is really, really well that she gets plus 15% damage. I think if this was plus 15% HP, Prophet would actually be an amazing hero. But the fact that it's plus 15% damage is almost negligible because Prophet really doesn't do a lot of damage. She gives plus 40% resistance. This is good in full fighter combos, especially in full fighter combos, or if you have another fighter alongside a Prophet, she'll give herself and that other fighter 40%. If you have 3 fighters, she's going to be dealing an extra 120% across the entire APC. And then her 8th ability, Soul Bombardment, she gains 1 charge each time a friendly enemy casts a combat skill. Very, very important to note that it's a combat skill. So right here is the type, combat skill. You'll notice that her second ability is a prep skill, and then there are also a status skills. So those don't count. And a lot of heroes do a lot of status skills, for example, Shadow. Those won't apply to the Soul Bombardment. Once 6 charges are accumulated, she'll deal 750% damage to the Marked Squad. Marked Squad is the squad from Fortune Telling, so that stays consistent across the entire game. And then she will suppress them for 1 turn. So this skill's kind of interesting. It's kind of like Roses, where you build up these weird little stacks based on what your friendly heroes are doing. And it really makes it so Prophet kind of wants to go with these heroes who do a lot of combat skills. However, the 750% damage is really, really weak. On Prophet, she really doesn't do a lot of damage with this, even though she has this plus 50% damage. It's just really, really, really low. The suppression's really good. Suppression is probably the best CC in the game, which is why her chart has decent CC, 3 out of 5, because suppression is just so much better. If this was something like Disarm, then it would be worse, obviously. So those are her skills. What kind of lineups does Prophet go with? Prophet goes well with pretty much everybody. So that's the reason why her adaptability is fantastic. She can go in the front line, so she can do something like Prophet, Scarlet, Cannon in that order. That works really, really well. Even on offense, it's a pretty good combo. She can work great with Cannon, like I said, like that combo there. But you can also do something like Prophet, Hummingbird, Cannon works great. You can do Heaven's Redemption, Prophet, and anybody really. Heaven's Redemption pairs really, really well with Prophet as well. You can do like Kamikaze, Prophet, Death Rider. You can really just pair Prophet with pretty much anybody. You can even do like TP, Prophet, Wrath, for example, and that's going to work pretty well. You can put Prophet in the front row, in the middle row, or in the back row, and it doesn't matter. She's going to do well. So the Apc list is a little bit hard to say. What I personally run is Prophet, Hummingbird, Cannon. I think it works really well. Like I said, that chain linking ability, her 5th ability, right here, I think it works great with Hummingbird because Hummingbird does a lot of damage. Also, it would work great with somebody like Huntress or Death Rider or something like that. I have run Kamikaze, Prophet, Death Rider in the past to pretty good success. So let's talk about the next hero. We have Huntress. So Huntress is a ranged vehicle hero. Range basically just meaning she goes in the back row. Obviously, this chart here is pretty interesting. She kind of sucks at everything except she does a buttload of damage, an absolute truckload of damage, a dump truck-sized truckload of damage. I don't know if I can make it more clear. She does damage. She has no tanking ability. She does not have any support. She doesn't really CC, and she's not very adaptable. She kind of is forced into like 2 or 3 main lineups. So her second ability, her squad ignores 25% of the enemy squad's base resistance. Base resistance is usually like, let's just say 100. So she'll just ignore 25% of that. And again, this just applies to the combat algorithms and the combat calculations to overall deal more damage. Her fifth ability is Wild Pounce, 50% chance. Oh, whoops, I didn't even finish her second ability. So her second ability, Jungle Duel. This hero squad ignores 25% of the enemy squad's base resistance. Base resistance, let's just say it's 100. That means it now goes down to 75. So for the first 3 turns, normal attacks lock on to the enemy squad in the opposite position of Huntress, and it'll ignore double the base resistance, so 50%. If the hero squad is in the front row, then the normal attacks lock onto the front row. So that's basically what that means. If you put her in the back row, all her basic attacks are going to attack the back row. And this is actually pretty good. That locking ability is pretty key to Huntress's overall capabilities. Her fifth ability, she is Wild Pounce. 50% chance after a normal attack to deal 350% bonus damage to the target, and a 50% chance when the bonus damage is triggered to inflict suppressed on one random enemy. So this is okay, actually. This isn't terrible. It's just basic is kind of my only flaw with it. We've seen this on pretty much every hero. Nomad obviously basically works just like this. Ivanov works very, very similar to this. But it's okay. So 50% chance after a normal attack to deal damage, and then there's a 50% chance to suppress, but that suppression is actually incredibly low, just like sort of Death Riders. The percentage on a percentages seem to like not really work in however the game is calculating them. It doesn't really work as they should. So more often than not, this is just about that damage. Her sixth ability, 15% increased vehicle damage. Great. Yeah. I don't know why they had to specify vehicle damage, but okay. She gives plus 40% might, which obviously makes sense. She just wants to give herself as much might as humanly possible. And then the wraith ability is basically the same. So 35% chance after a normal attack to deal 600% bonus damage to the target. This bonus damage is increased to 810 if the target squad troops are 50% lower than at the start of battle, meaning they've already taken half of their damage. This is just insane. 600 bonus damage is already enormous. 810 just puts it above and beyond. Huntress can literally one-shot people in one round. She can kill somebody. If it so happens that she basic attacks enough times, she can literally kill somebody in one round. And that happens very, very often that she'll kill the back row hero in 3 rounds. So Huntress has really, really changed the meta and compositions of APCs, but people have found pretty good workarounds for Huntress, and it's not incredibly overpowered. So what APCs go up well with Huntress? Huntress is really, really locked into going into playing with Predator, really. So Predator obviously gives basic attacks and a little bit of extra damage, and she'll buff this percentage chance, which is really, really good because, again, more damage, fantastic. But it basically locks Huntress into the back row because Predator only applies the extra normal attack to the back row. So you pretty much have to do some hero, Predator, and then Huntress. And people are running Anna, Predator, Huntress. That's what I personally run. It's amazing. Anna gives, first of all, she gives vehicle might, so Huntress gets more might. Second of all, she gives more basic attacks, and third of all, those basic attacks can also do some CC. So it's really, really good. You can also run like Tech Priestess, Predator, Huntress. Works fantastic as well because Tech Priestess is just crazy good. You can run somebody like Hunk, Predator, Huntress. That also works pretty well to pretty good success, just like with Nomad. You can even run like Betrayed. You can run Prophet. You can run a lot of people in that front row. But what I run and a lot of others run is Anna, personally, in the front row. So I also think Huntress's character design is pretty cool. Props. I don't think they copied this from anywhere. If you know where they copied it from, let me know. But I haven't yet seen somebody complain about that. So I think it's pretty cool. So overall, these 2 new heroes. Let's give them a number rating because everybody loves the number ratings. And sometimes they cause a little bit of controversy. So Prophet, overall, I think Prophet's a 3. Solid 3. But she's not a 4. Like I said, maybe if she got HP in her 6th ability, she would actually become a 4. She would just be used like always. But a lot of people don't really have a place for Prophet. She doesn't really fit in like the top APCs. She's pretty much like just a really strong defense hero. And if you want to attack with Prophet, generally you're going to want like I said, a Hummingbird or somebody who does a lot of damage, or fighter. So Prophet, Scarlet, Cannon. Huntress is also a 3, and this is kind of tough. I know people have gone back and forth and disagreed with me on this one. Some people believe Huntress is a 4. My consensus is Huntress is a 3. So Huntress does a crap ton of damage, like I've emphasized a million times, and she really did change the composition of APCs. Nowadays, you have to put your carry in the middle. So like I said, Prophet, Hummingbird, Cannon S. Not Hummingbird in the back, but in the middle. And on my defense queue, I run Shadow, Nomad in the middle, and then Koshe in the back row. So it's pretty interesting, but it's basically the best way to counter Huntress. She gets countered by Heaven's Redemption, actually pretty bad. She gets countered by Cannon S, also fairly bad. If you just put Cannon in the back, it's Huntress is not going to do much. So that's why she doesn't get a 4. You can counter her fairly easily. You can just put the damage dealer, the carry, in the middle, and she still does really well. I still think Huntress is a really good hero, but not a 4. So both of them are 3s on the cusp, 3.5s probably, if I could. If I could give them 3.5s, I probably would, but I don't. So they're both 3s out of 4. So that's about it for these heroes, guys. Let me know your opinions on these heroes. I know people are going to disagree with me for sure. I've already seen it before in the past. If you agree with me, hey, thumbs up. If you don't, let me know why, and maybe I'll agree with you. So that's about it, guys. Take care, have fun, stay safe out there. It's a gorgeous day outside today. I hope it is for you guys as well. Have a great night, great evening, great morning. I'll catch you guys soon. Peace.
Wake up, early mornings, late nights, hopping on a different flight. What's the meaning of life, ayy? Wake up, same-ish, different day. Make a wish, call it pray. Am I sick, am I okay, ayy? Stay up